Hello everyone, it's 1010 and welcome to my channel, Celestial Farm Girl here. I just want to show you something that's very, very beautiful. Mother and children, oh my God, they have been the focus of my life for the last 3 days. And to tell you the truth, I found it hard to sit down and do readings or anything, and I must be feeling like what a father feels like I'm nervous as heck. And she doesn't want to let me have a whole lot to do with them, which I can understand. They're her babies. She keeps an eye on me as if I'm going to do something. And I'm just really worried, I guess, because they're tiny, because they're special, and because I have the expectation of getting to know them. And so I'm just like overexcited. I love new babies. I've always loved babies. They're one of my favorite things in life. But, I'm 63 years old and I haven't had the experience with babies in a long, 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 long time, except for Daffy. And she came to me as a baby. And, it just took me back. I kind of went flashback because when I got her, I was homeless and I was really worried about her. And, her care was so important to me that I would be able to nourish this baby while I was homeless, to be, a good mother, even though. And I was. And she, now she's 4 years old, and she had the first litter of puppies she's ever had and ever will have, because there'll be no more. But I'm really excited. I've decided to keep both the babies. I have a giant house with a yard, and I just cannot bear to part with them. I just can't bear it. I can't even, it's like, no, those babies got to stay here with us. And so, with that being said, everybody, maybe I was able to release a little bit of excitement. I love you guys. Thank y'all for your like, share, subscribe. This is Reading for Divine Feminine. Um, yeah, I'm a little off my game, like I do not feel at peace, calm. I'm like constantly looking at them to make sure they're okay. And I'm sure that that's kind of like how a father feels too. He can't do too much. He's got to leave it all to the mom. She's learning, but at the same time, he's probably back in the background, a nervous wreck, right? I don't know. When I had my babies, it was the most natural thing. I never felt a bit nervous about them or anything. I just took to it like a duck to water. And oh man, I loved it. I loved being a mother. I didn't really like being pregnant, but man, did I ever love the effects of the babies. It was always just like a breath of fresh air. So I do not know where our reading's going today. I do know that I hope you guys will forgive me, have mercy on me, and all this, newness that's coming into my life. And, pray for my babies. I know they're puppies, but they're still babies. You know, dogs saves people's lives. Dogs are like angels in disguise. Yeah, God can turn anything into an angel. If you love it, it's an angel. It's bringing out the best in you. So, whatever brings out the best in you, let it be. Let it be, and love it regardless. Yeah, just be. So today I'm really giddy and a little scattered, but I still love you guys, and I've decided I'm still going to come on and do a reading, and I'll let you guys know where I'm at, so that if I'm a little strange, weird, or don't make sense, you guys can just say, oh, she just got the postpartum baby thing going on, nervous, stressed, and not quite capable connecting in. Let's see what we get. We'll see what happens. The father. That just blows my mind. The father. And like I said, I was kind of feeling like a father. I knew I was a part of the whole situation, bringing it in, but yet at the same time, I have to come back here and stand and watch. And, what's left to me is hoping and praying that the divine will watch over everything and do the best I can. Two, companionship. This is the number two in the archetype cards, the father. Let me talk about the Father, the true Father of righteousness, which I have met. As crazy as it sounds, yes, in the spirit world, I was taken up through a cloud. And in this white cloud, I was deposited into a white room that had white curtains that were glowing. And this older, beautiful gentleman with a white beard all the way down to his tummy, the bottom of his tummy, hair all the way down his back. It was all white, it was all natural. And he took me by the hand and he led me over to some seats. And he looked at me and faced me, and he took his hand out of my hand and he stuck his hand into my rib on the right side, right here. And he said, "Do all things in righteousness." Then he took me again by the hand and he set me down on the seat next to him. It was the most amazing first time I ever felt love, true love, like to be loved. And it brought about epiphanies and epiphanies and epiphanies about a father's love. As I grew up to that, I was maybe 35 years old when I had that vision. It was once I had the vision of Jesus, the visions just kept rolling. Yeah, I had several visions within a 7-year period that were quite extraordinary. But what this told me is that I was blessed by the Father of righteousness and that He would be watching over me as I made my way through this world. Now, this gave me a lot of confidence because I didn't have any. And He told me to do all things in righteousness, which, any dummy can understand. That means whatever I do, I'm going to be accountable for, right? I'm going to be held accountable. That's what fathers do. They hold their children accountable. And, they make sure their children know the right direction. Now, when I go back to fathers, my father himself was a good father. The relationship between me and my father was not the same relationship between my father and my mother. So just to say that I did not see my father the way my mother did. I saw my father in a beautiful light, loving, kind, teaching me things, that I would need to have out in the world, but I didn't realize that at the time. A father is a very important figure in parental life, and we are all mother and father. So, I don't know where we're going with this. The moon is in Pisces and Aries today, and Aries is considered the father, correct? The leader of the pack, even though the planet Saturn carries the title of father. And so I believe Saturn has went into retrograde. So father energy is really prominent right now. What does the father do? The father is a protector. The father, I know this is divine feminine, but the father showed up. And so I can only suspect that Creator Source is talking to you, divine feminines, about your divine masculine and balancing out your divine masculine with your divine feminine, because that's when you come a whole, your light and dark both are working, right? Your light and dark both are working. Whether we think the divine feminine is light or dark, or divine masculine is light and dark, the truth of it all is we are light and dark. We have both in us, just like this tree right here. Everything has light and dark, and anything, I think both can be either at any time. I don't think it's like fixed. I can go from being the sweetest mother, sweetheart in the world, to being very stiff, firm, and commanding, I guess you could say. We can switch from one role to another. And this is something we all need to know how to do. We want to know how to command our energy, such as Aries, and that's what we just got, number 1 here. The South Node, which would probably be considered the dark side, and 2, which is who we are. We are 2. We are Gemini. We do have 2. We have a divine masculine and a divine feminine. And when we balance the 2 out, that angel over top of Gemini, that is what gets created from the transmutation and alchemy of balancing your divine masculine and balancing your divine feminine. You get this whole new energy that just kind of encircles you and surrounds you and protects you, because you become like a part of nature. You are working with nature. You're protecting, you're mothering, you're commanding, you're vulnerable, you're a little bit of everything. And so we have Aries here. Did I mention that? No, I didn't. I didn't even see that. But here we go. We got 1 in Aries. The moon moved into Aries today. Okay, she reflects to us a lot of things. And so our south side or downside is really not that bad when we get in there and we want to work with this bunch of feelings and emotions that are all swollen up there. See? Yeah, that's the south side. It's got the thing across the top, and I read it from the top. So if we're not feeling, if we're feeling, this tells me Aries is kind of in the South Node, angry, frustrated, stressed out, anxious. I too have been feeling that, okay? Whether it's because of the babies or not. We want to do cleansing. We want to get into our cleansing. This is a good time because a lot of collective energies and negative energies are rising up to be cleansed from all of us. We all have negativity, and everybody is working on their energy at this time, which means that a lot of stuff is coming up. And so we want to deal with it as it comes so it don't get too piled up and stressful and cause us to have anxiety. The father is about, if the mother's all about love and vulnerability, then the father is about authority and discipline, right? So about getting ourselves together and being able to understand that there are times we need to be strong and forceful, even as women. Divine feminines need to literally be able to stand their ground in any situation, because you can't always count on somebody having your back, right? So that's what we need to learn. And that's why I always encourage you guys to go take you a self-defense class. And the most important thing in self-defense is having the courage to defend yourself. Courage. And after courage, you find out, you're brave. And the courage that you get when you take your self-defense class, you will wear it on your whole body. It will be like this thing that you wear. And people will know not to mess with you. Okay? And that's how it should be. We should teach our daughters and take them to self-defense class as well, so they do not succumb to bullies and people, with old age ideas, thinking that because she's a girl, she's less than. Because we're nowhere near less than. We're way more than we've ever been given accounted for. We're mothers. We're fathers. Many of us have raised our children alone. I didn't have a father for my children. I was their mother and their father. And I was the mother and father of my baby brothers and sisters as well, even from the age of 7 years old on up. And that's the she-shark cat. Yeah. Mother, fathers, bring them both together. Your intuition will clash in, and you will know all you need to know, and nature will guide you. Oh my God, look at all this. You will find peace in your life. Peace, integrating your divine masculine, the father side of yourself with your divine feminine, which is all about action and standing your ground and boundaries, protecting yourself so that you can find the love and the beauty that is within you. Because if we got people around us who are always expecting something from us, we never really get the opportunity to look within ourselves to find out what we expect from our own selves. And that's what's important. And look, I grabbed this first. We're going here. Get in touch with your inner child, the lollipop. It always makes me think of, and I've been doing that the last couple days, going back and what do they call that when you just go back and watch who you used to be when you were little and how you were acting and how things turned out for you. There's a lot of stuff and healing that I needed to do. Go back and love that little girl. That little girl was made to feel like she wasn't even worthy of being on this planet, And I had the responsibility of so many things, taking care of my mother, taking care of my brothers and sisters, constantly thrown out of the house every day, not allowed to come back in till dark, abuse, abuse, abuse. And I have to go back through those things and make sure the spirit of that little girl knows that what happened was not right and that she deserved love just like any other child, even if she was different. Because difference and uniqueness and is the change we're going to see in the future. We can't stay the same. Everything's dying if we stay the same. If you don't grow, you stagnate, you die. So we have to go back and check out that little child. And so here I come to these. Again, balloons. Going back, many of you who had a wonderful childhood, I'm so grateful for you because it's people like you who help people like me to see that there were good people in this world. I don't know if any of you watched the video, but when I first started out, I hated the world. I hated the people. I hated everybody and everything. My grandchildren have been taken from me. My kids have been taken from me. I didn't get that I was an addict and I didn't get all this. But finally it kicked in and I knew that I had to change the darkness that was in my life, those things that I were addicted to that were dragging me down. And so out of the darkness, I began to write a new page or turn a new leaf. And so here I am now on the other side of that new leaf. From 33 years ago, I began my journey out of drug addiction and hate and abominations that a lot of people don't even want to talk about. And now I am here at 63, turning over and becoming this new person that I dreamed for years that I might be able to be. And so transmutation is necessary. That's why I talk about cleaning our energy and imagining the ethers, coming down. The ethers are the creators, the building blocks, the waters of life. And cleanse yourself with these things and wash away your trauma, wash away, face your trauma, and then let it dissipate away after you have cleansed and filled those emotions. I had no idea we were going to go so deep. I had no idea whatsoever. But since we are in Pisces and Aries, we got fire and water. We're going to take these two decks right here. This is about focusing in on self, your inner child, your divine masculine, bringing all three together, your divine feminine, your divine masculine, your inner child, and that makes the Trinity too. Yeah, God tells me these things. There's a lot of things that we hear in the Bible. There's a lot of things in the Quran. There's a lot of things in the Vedas. There's a lot of things in the Buddhas. If you take a little bit of here, there, and yonder, it doesn't matter. You can begin to create a body of work that will work for you. It's just the intention of what you want. What do you want from God? Okay, collective divine feminine, maybe that's the question. What do you want from God? Maybe that's it about the Father. Father is the Father of spirit, or I saw the Father in the spirit. And I really believe that when I saw the mother, she was in the flesh, on the earth, in the flesh. And she's the one I told you about was in the cave woman clothes, running across the hill of wheat, even. Oh, God cracks me up. Let me tell you something. Mother, Holy Spirit, Father, Holy Spirit, God is quite funny in the ways they can present themselves to you. And, yeah. Okay, where are we at? Here we go. Oh, God. Love it. Love life. 5 of water. Have I got these cards upside down? Okay. I don't never read upside down. The 5 of water. Halfway between here and there. On our way to somewhere. But full of emotions. Feeling. Look at her she's just feeling. When you do that, you're feeling, right? What are you feeling? What are you feeling? You're feeling, but you haven't identified what you're feeling yet. This is what this tells me. You're open. You're allowing the flow to flow through as if you're being cleansed through the waters and the flow of the energy, just pulling it through. And this gets us out of stagnation, right? Open and vulnerable and willing to allow new things coming into your life. Look at that. Ancient writings on that shell. Prophecy on this shell. Promises. There are promises on this shell. And is that a sea dragon? It looked at first like a seahorse, but it's got wings. Seahorses, the first thing I think of about seahorses is they mate for life. But more importantly about seahorses, although the beautiful mating for life is such a beautiful story between mates and lovers, more importantly, the seahorse supports the feminine consistently. When the father seahorse fertilizes the eggs within the womb of the feminine seahorse. They then exchange, and he carries the eggs after fertilization until it's time for them to be born, and then he gives live birth to the baby seahorses. There's sacred writing all over this. Now, I don't know where we're going with this, but again, we have the Father. And we have the Father here. Our divine masculine could be that companion of our own self that is with us for life. We never separate from ourselves. We stay whole. And that divine masculine comforts our divine feminine, and our divine feminine comforts our own divine masculine. Because I see a divine feminine here, and I see a little male seahorse. So I see some kind of symbology about, allowing your divine masculine to be a part of your life, and the gentle softness of the divine feminine as well as you go through the dimensions of your day-to-day life. Sometimes childish, sometimes you got to be strong and stern, and then sometimes you can just be vulnerable and sit back and let your thoughts and emotions flow as you clear out your energy. 5, again, as you rise above, your thoughts and troubles and stress. 5, big change. And this is good for me too, because like I say, I've been stressing over nothing. These babies are going to be just fine. God is going to protect these babies for me. I know that. And but I have been like walking on pins and needles for 3 days, waking up in the middle of the night, checking on the baby. I love you guys. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Okay, so we got 5 of air. And so this is rising above the fray, rising above these thoughts and ideas that, if you don't be careful, can turn into feelings, because it's our thoughts and our ideas that bring about the feelings, right? That's why we have to work in faith and not fear, to believe everything is going to be all right, because these thoughts will rise up, and we allow any kind of fear or stress or remorse or regret or thoughts of, lower level energies to dissipate and go away by having faith. And we might not know the exact outcome, but we know with our heart and soul that we have done the right thing for the right reasons. And because we do that, God is going to bless us. Right? The Father God, with our thoughts. Okay, again, the white feathers, the Father, the thoughts that we carry within us. We want to think well of ourselves. We want to love ourselves. We want to release anything that isn't making us feel happy. And if we can't release it, that means we need to go in and work on that thought, because it's made an emotion, and that emotion needs to be cleared out. And as we heal ourselves and work on ourselves and realize that the emotions, while we live through our emotions, we live through our emotion of love, we live through our emotion of hate, we live through our emotion of anger. That's why it's so important to transform and transmute our emotions with self-love. And as you begin to feel that self-love for yourself, you become gentler with yourself. You start making choices about what you're going to think about. Again, choices, thinking, swords. and you don't let things into your mind that aren't there. You be like, no, I'm not thinking of that today. That is not how I'm going to open my mind today. That's not how I'm going to infuse my heart with the day's energy. I'm going to think of healthier things. And if I can't think of anything else, I'm going to know that the universe has got my back and I can go a couple days without thinking of anything at all, right? It won't happen like that. But you can stand your ground and be like that. King of water, emotions. Yeah, protecting and watching over your emotions. The king of water watches the emotions as they come in, but he has good control over how he feels and what he's thinking. And you know, he can be like he doesn't release a lot of emotions. He just wants to watch others and how their reactions are. And he's always loving, kind, empathetic, you know, a loving person. This is about healing. A healed king of cups is very much a beautiful father, an empathetic father, a kind father, a father that feels his wife and his children. Yeah, yeah, he would be, and then this King of Cups is inside of you too, your divine masculine, where you be strong and empathetic towards your children, but also you don't spoil them. You know the difference between what is right and wrong, and you help them to grow up by disciplining themselves and their emotions, which helps a lot. And although I'm talking to the divine feminine right now, we have both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and we want to bring balance to both, that we can reach that, um, I call it angelic status. You bring both forms together, and you're thinking out of your right brain and your left brain, and they become partners with one another. And there's, you know, it just becomes a good union. Okay, we got the King of Water up here after all these swords of thoughts and stuff. So somebody has achieved emotional satisfaction. Two of Fire. I love this. I love this. For one thing, one of my favorite animals is a giraffe. It's one of my totems. And I love the giraffe because it symbolizes being able to see over the trees into the distance, right? And with them carrying this lamp, being able to see ahead of time what's coming, right? Yeah, Two of Wands, of moving forward in the choices you make and shining a light on the outcome of it. So you already know you're moving forward. You already know that you're in, yeah. I would say the giraffe stands for, you know, we got two here. Yeah, when you bring your divine masculine and divine feminine together, you know, sometimes maybe you can ride on the back of your divine masculine if you have to, if you got to get strong, if you got to get forceful, if you got to let somebody know where you stand, right? Yeah, because we no longer are the feminine that allow others to push, shove, and direct our direction. We are now coming into our own strength and power, learning to be independent, learning to love ourselves for who we are, and we are not taking any disrespect whatsoever from anyone, whether they're the opposite sex or not. We are now working on demanding that we be respected, and no longer will you set us in a corner and act as if we don't exist, because we exist. We exist, and we're coming out loud and proud and strong. And we are coming to the time of voting, my lovely ladies, my lovely divine feminines. Choose well. choose well. Read up on your people that you're going to vote for and make sure that they are truly for the people and not for the rich. We've got enough people who are the rich for the rich. It's time we bring in, even unknown peoples. It's time we stand up and fight the politicians and make sure that they do the right thing for the right reasons as well. And that's why God wants you to um, alchemize your divine masculine, your divine feminine, and bring them together and put you in your power. In your power, mama. Walking away from anything that doesn't serve your greater good. Good for you, divine feminine. Walking away from anything that doesn't serve your greater good. And hey, what's good for you is good for me. So really what you're doing is you're serving all of us, being an example for all of us, standing up for all of us. And as we all begin to stand up one by one, we will get stronger and stronger and stronger. And truth always wins. Truth breaks down towers. Yeah. And truth also makes other people celebrate. So while some people are going through the towers of truth, others are celebrating the towers of truth. And we change the world not for ourselves, we change it for those who are coming. And we're all watching and waiting, aren't we? Is that Aries? You damn straight. Sun and Aries. We're all watching and waiting. And the light is shining on everything, isn't it? God is shining and bringing out everything, the corruption everywhere. It's almost like right in our face, rich people trying to help richer people get richer and to make poorer people poorer. We've got all kinds of villains in the government right now, that don't give a hoot about the community of this planet whatsoever. And listen, if they're not working for the people, then they're working for the 1%, and the 1% got enough power and control. We need people to rise up. Pray God, someone and people will rise up that are going to truly be for the people and not for the money they're going to make while they're in the politics. Politics should not be ever about money. It should be about the people, and we need to demand this. And that would be a fatherly thing too. The son is considered the divine masculine, the father. We need fathers to take up politics, not players. Not players. We got enough players in this world. They have been an example for players throughout for thousands of years now. Do what I say, but not as I do. And now all their ugly has flowed out into the collective. And it's time that we stand up. And I'm praying that you guys know the difference between any politician that is working for the rich and a politician that's working for the average American human who is trying to support their family, trying to support their children's education, trying to support roofs over their head, while at the same time, trying to pay attention to what's going on in the world, what will serve them and what won't. And it's not easy. And that's why God needs all of us old crones to stand up and start taking positions of authority in the politicians, especially those of you who have education. Stand up, my friends. Stand up. I love you guys. Stand up. The High Priestess and the Knight of Swords. Stand up for truth. This is all about truth. Interpret, intuition, and watching what's going on in the world. Do not allow them sneaky Pete's that so bright and shiny, but they're only bright and shiny for the certain few. If they don't cover everybody's ass, they're not worthy of being in there. Yeah. No, he's for the rich and shiny, right? Well, it's our job to take him down. It's our job to make sure those kind of people don't get into our politics, because if they do, it could be really hard removing them. They could cause war. They could cause a war. Death. We do not want to deal. Yeah. I'm actually thinking and praying to God, death to that. Death to the rich. Death to capitalism. That's what I'm saying. Death to the capitalism. And let the rebirth of where this world belongs to all of us begin, to where all the resources belong to us all. And not a lot will change other than we only have to work 4 days a week, 4 hours a day, and still get everything, that we want. And there's enough resources on this planet to do that. So we have to watch for those who would cut our resources off, especially for our seniors and our uneducated and the poor. They're not even going to cover that at all. What do they do with our seniors these days? They all get sent to a home somewhere, right? We don't even let them hang out in the neighborhoods anymore. And people go and check on them and stuff. They get rushed and pushed around out of their homes. We want to bring a better world back. Well, we need to start standing up for what we believe in. And God is calling on you warriors who've been to hell and back. And you got your trophy. Now it's time to scour the earth and see how we want to leave it. When we're gone from this planet, what kind of thoughts and feelings and energies do we want to leave behind us? Right? It is the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Heaven, the Garden of Life. To me, that's heaven. Dying isn't going to heaven. You're going to the spirit world. We're born to this planet to live in heaven. And everybody deserves good things. You can't put value on life. You can't. How much would you say a life is worth? You can't put value on life. We're all wounded warriors, but we all still got it in us to stand and set boundaries around what we believe and to rip out what we don't and not allow it to manifest in this world. So I guess today has been a weird reading, and I'm feeling weird today too. But I want y'all to know I love y'all, and I do it with the best interest and best heart, and hoping and praying over this planet that the mothers take it back and turn it back into the nest. That, they don't want women to have abortions, but they're not giving them a home to give a child to. Most people can't even afford to live alone anymore. Yeah. So think about these things. If a mother doesn't have a place to take her child, she has the right to decide whether she wants to live a baby, keep a baby, or abort a baby. It's none of nobody else's business. As horrible as that sounds. But I believe in the right to choice. And it is unfortunate because, later they find out women who have abortions die earlier, get diseases more. They found out they're more susceptible to depressions and heartbreaks. And of course they are. Of course they are. But it sure would be nice if every child born had a place to be and grow up, a little snuggly bed like my little baby's got, and a bunch of people fussing over them and loving them and not can hardly wait till they get up big enough so they can be touched and handled and interacted with. This is how we should be with new life, knowing that it's going to be okay, that the best of the world will be available to it. It doesn't have to be jealous or envious or competitive. It can just live and be its beautiful little self. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a blessed day. God bless y'all. Bye bye.